Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Well, my voice isn't back completely yet, but at least you can hear me today, right? Yesterday, y'all, yesterday was a hot mess. Hold on, I have to tell you about what happened yesterday. Yesterday was such a hot mess that we had to end the show early. It was, I was like, part of being in show business, if you will, for lack of better terms, and politics, uh, is learning when to just stop. And sometimes it's not a gift that everyone has, because sometimes people just keep on going and you're like, oh, you should have stopped like 10 minutes ago. And then, there's no recovering from that. Well, that happened yesterday. So yesterday was the day from where. It was hysterical in hindsight, but in the moment it was just like, this was just stupid crap. So my day started off with, I get up, I go in to get my laundry out of, or my clothes out of my suitcase. And Dad's been doing a bunch of like reconstruction and stuff like that, and remodeling and whatever. And there was a whole colony of ants that decided to make my suitcase their home. So I was like, you know what? That's okay. Like I'm a roll with the punches kind of gal. So it wasn't that big of a deal. So I just took all of the laundry, because I have a 2-hour show, do a quick load because it's not dirty, but just a quick load to wash the ants off. And then I'll throw it in the dryer. And then by the time that's done, show will be over. It'll be time for me to start moving south. And then 5 minutes before the show starts, the power goes off. And it stays off. And it stays off. And I'm like, we got a show to start here. So let me run and go get my phones. Well, in like my tripod and all that kind of stuff. So that was a hot mess, because I was trying to keep everything on time and keep things rolling. And you guys know me, I can laugh at myself. So I was totally fine with this. Like, well, let's just keep this ball rolling. And then my phone didn't get plugged in all the way last night. Or the night before. So I had to use my battery charger. Well, guess what happened? My phone overheated in the middle of the show. It just stopped. I was like, oh no. So then I pulled up the other phone. I mean, if it could go wrong, it went wrong yesterday. So then finally I was like, why didn't I just go sit in the car with air conditioning and power? So I did. And then Miss Patty had to leave and Simon came on. Well, for some reason, neither one of my phone's microphones wanted to work at this point. Like they were done. They said no mas. No mas. And I was like, you know what? Now's a good time for me to just say goodnight, everybody, and trickle off into the abyss. So that's what I did. And then about 4 minutes later, the power came back on. Well, I say that it wasn't quite 4 minutes. It was probably about another 30 or so minutes, because I was freaking out, because do you know what happens when you have a front loading washing machine and the power goes off? It locks your laundry inside of it. Mm-hmm. It was an adventure. It was an adventure. Now my Murphy's Law day, and it still wasn't even done yet. My Murphy's Law day, however, decided to trickle into Miss Patty's day. So I shared some of that with her. They ended up broke down on the side of the road, and they had to wait for like over 2 hours for the people to come and save them. And then they get home and they had something happen with their pool, and it was a hot mess after hot mess after hot mess. And then I ended up getting stuck behind all these accidents yesterday, and I was just like, you know what? Sometimes God gives you Murphy's Law days just to remind you that you're not in charge. Oh, that's right. And it is a new car. So that's right, Ms. Pat. Your car is not even 2 years old yet. I don't even think it's a year old, is it? But God gives us bad days to remind us that we're not in charge. And it's how you react. That's always the takeaway. And I think that that's something that we forget as people, that we forget, especially as Christians. Other people watch you to see how you react in your bad day moments, in your Murphy's Law moments, right? In the if it could go wrong, it's going to happen, and you just have to accept it. But at the end of the day, when we remember that God's still in control, then you get to have that, you know what? God's still in control. I'm still blessed. I still have food. I still have a place to live. I still have a roof over my head. I have shoes on my feet. I have my health. My children have their health. You know what? A bad day every once in a while is not going to kill anybody. And sometimes it seems like you can't get out of that bad day rut. Uh, exactly. But I never like to go that far, Simon, because sometimes that's a challenge to see how far you can hit rock bottom. Uh, I mean, certainly not Hunter Biden rock bottom, but uh, it's just I think that we get so wrapped up in everything has to be perfect, or I have a schedule, or I have to do this, or I have to do that, and sometimes I think that that's God's way of saying, I need you to step back and remember who's really in control here, because it sure as heck ain't you, honey child. I need you to remember that I made the lilies on the valley. I put the cattle of 10,000 on the hill. I created the sunset and the sunrises, and I created you, and I can solve your problems. Somebody needs to hear that today. I just laughed at myself. I mean, I rolled my eyes and I was just like, oh. By the time I finally got here last night, I think my ankles were swollen up to the size of grapefruits from being at the conference all weekend, and then being stuck in the car and everything else. And I just couldn't help but laugh at myself, because that's all you can do. That's all you can do. I took some time to have some phone calls. I spent tons of time on the phone with Charlotte yesterday, so she was loving that, and so that was good. It was good stuff. So when you have that's right. You're still you fall on your even when you fall on your face, you're still moving forward. And sometimes you got to get knocked on your butt to remind yourself where you've been. Think about that for a second. There you go. We got it, Simon. We got it. We're going to solve the world's problems today with all the little cheesy cliches we can find. But anyway, no, everything is good. Uh, I even on bad days, and look, you get days where you just bury your head in your pillow and you cry yourself to sleep at night, or you can't stop the tears from flowing in traffic, and those days are still okay too. I didn't have one of those days yesterday, but I did earlier in the week, or at the end of last week, and it's look, that's real life. Any person that you see on television and you think for 1 second, oh, they got their life together. Or you see the Jones, right? Keeping up with the Joneses. You try to keep up with the Joneses. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. People just have different coping mechanisms. People just have different ways that they cover it up. You fill in the blank, and they have it. And that's what makes us human. I used to when I first started running for office. I remember one of the very first things that that Walter and I had talked about is I said I don't get starstruck. Like I was taught to treat everybody the same, from the janitor up to the CEO. And when you do that, people respect you. And so that's what I've always done. And I've never been starstruck, because every person puts their pants on the same way, one leg at a time. Unless you're being fancy. Sometimes I like to be fancy and like try to see if I can just do the whoosh and pull my pull them back, try and put them on at the same time. But at the end of the day, we all still have to take a shower, all them things. A little deodorant never hurt anybody. Some people don't feel like they need it because they really don't. They really do think that their stink don't stink. But let me tell you what. Let me tell you what. That's the way. That's how you make a difference in this world. You gotta treat others. I mean, it's almost like I've heard this somewhere. Was it maybe Jesus said, "Love your neighbor as yourself," or as we like to dumb it down for some people, treat others the way that you want to be treated. It's the most simple thing, and we forget it. And if we remember that in politics, if we remember that when we go out and dealt with public, we dealt with family that we can't stand. If we dealt with our neighbor, like our literal neighbor, treat other people the way that you want to be treated. And that doesn't mean to be a walkover or a pushover, but you have to remember to keep a center about you. You have to remember to be just, and you have to remember that at the end of the day, if we're doing the right thing, that guy up there, he's going to make that path okay. He's going to make it work out just fine and dandy. So that's your little So yesterday's Murphy Law hopefully is over, although I think it might be trickling onto Walter's job site. We'll find out later. But all is good. All is well. I hope you did have a blessed day yesterday and that you will again today. So we have some fun stuff to talk about. Some of it. I don't even know where to start. So yesterday, no, I don't think that Walter saw the show yesterday because he's up in canyons and valleys and whatever. He doesn't even have a signal 85% of the time. But yesterday, Miss Patty said on the show that Walter and I should go and review the Barbie movie. Okay. So this is funny. Y'all are going to laugh. And before he and I had this conversation, he actually he put this, on his Facebook page. Hold on, y'all are going to laugh because this is very Walter. He put that he was marked safe from seeing the Barbie movie. And so I didn't know that he had done that because I was stuck in traffic and I was like, some days I literally do everything in my power to pretend that I even have a phone. And so anyway, fast forward, and I said, hey, by the way, on the show today, Miss Patty brought up an idea that we go and see the movie together. And I said, but you were not allowed to wear a pink tutu. And he goes, absolutely not. No way. No way. And I said, well, Suzanne said that it would be good for me to go and review the movie so that we can see what Sandra's take is on it, right? And he goes, yes, I'm fine with that. You go see that movie. There's no way now I'm going to go see that movie. And I just started laughing. So we need to, Simon, I'm going to need you to start a petition. I told him he wasn't going to dress up in pink and he couldn't put on a tutu or anything weird like that, but he had to dress up like Ken. And he was still like absolutely not having it. And I know I think it's allergies. I don't know what it is. And so he said he's absolutely not doing it. So Simon, you have to do what you do best. I need you to start a petition. And the petition is Sandra and Walter to review the Barbie movie. And he is absolutely not having it for 1 second. He actually said, oh, he was perfectly clear. He's like, oh, I think I'm having bad connection. I have to go. Goodbye. And he literally hung up the phone. I just started laughing. It's very Walter. So if you want Sandra and Walter to go see the Barbie movie and give you our real take, not that crap Ben Shapiro's take, then let's know. Now, in fairness, Walter doesn't have any girls, so that'll make it a different contest. I think that's what makes it good. So y'all, Simon, make it happen. Okay. Let's see. Naturally, we need to talk about Hunter Biden. Because that's just that is just some intense that's happening. Hi, Miss Suzanne. So I need you guys to listen to some of this. So it's like 7 minutes long, and I've got it on the television, so I'm not going to make you listen to the whole thing. But it was on it was MSNBC, and I was listening to this morning, and I think it was from yesterday, but I was listening to this morning. And I was cracking up laughing listening to this. So MSNBC is talking about how terrible the Republicans are. They started off, with how, this is just fraud, that we would even begin. There's so many people. There's so many people that have evaded taxes that never even get a slap on the wrist. And Hunter Biden's just one of them. I don't know. I don't know if y'all just saw what just happened here. But the power in the house went boo. Yeah, I cannot today. We got Murphy's Law Part 2. Thankfully, this one was just a poop poop. I think the internet went down though. Oh my goodness, I can't breathe for a second. Welcome. God's like, watch you practice what you just preached, any child. Yeah. I may have to reset the Wi-Fi, so y'all are gonna have to be here on the phone for a few minutes. Um, anyway, well, shoot, I can't even play the video that I had queued up for you guys. So this, I'm kidding. I swear it's like it follows me. It's like I've got a bad penny in my pocket. Maybe there's an omen somewhere. I should be watching over my back or something. Anyway, I think the interweb is coming back up here on the computer. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here we are. We're coming back. We're coming back to you guys. Um, you can't make up your life, can you? Anyway, so MSNBC is talking about how poor old Hunter Biden. Poor old Hunter Biden. I don't need that in stereo. So poor old Hunter Biden is he's getting just an unfair shake from these mean old nasty Republicans. And so they spend 5 minutes building this case on how it was replay testimony from some of the hearings from Capitol Hill about how mean these Republicans are, that this is something that Trump has had in the works since 2018 just to go after poor old Hunter. Poor old Hunter. And so I'm listening to this and I'm literally cracking up laughing listening to this because I was like, yeah, I mean, so and especially when they go into the part where poor old Hunter is just, I mean, he's getting a bad rub. Uh, so many people are into tax evasion, and he's just one of them. And most people don't even go to jail for that. They don't even get a slap on the wrist. And here they are trying to just him poor old Hunter up. I mean, how dare these Trumplicans, dare I say, go after our beloved Hunter and our precious Biden family. And so anyway, so I'm listening to this and I'm laughing, and I'm like, these people, they really believe this, that they believe their own shit. And that's the number one thing that you're not supposed to do, right? Like if you, they say, if you ever start believing your own crap, then you've gone too far. And so, especially when you're liars, perpetual liars that get caught all the time lying. And so anyway, like the Biden family, who am I to throw stones, right? Um, but anyway, so they start carrying on, and so then they said these are Trump appointed people. This is a Trump appointed DA. This is a Trump appointed judge. This is a and they would not let this get moved out of Delaware. And I'm over here going, this has got to be the dumbest crap I've ever heard in my life. Now, the behind the scenes deal that they made was crap. So it was going to take these felony charges to misdemeanor charges. And we'll look the other way about the gun as long as you promise not to do drugs anymore. Mr. dropped his bag of cocaine. I mean, randomly, there was a bag of cocaine in the White House. Who, anytime he's on stage with the family, he's twitching looking for his fix. Yeah, I think that that's something he'll really abide to. But the fact that a Trump appointed DA made that deal in the first place tells me, yet again, Simon, you already know what I'm going to say, that Trump has bad taste in the people that he puts around him. Now, thankfully, the judge, who was a Trump appointed judge, had a little bit of common sense about her and was like, I'm not okay with this deal. This deal right here. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not really feeling like it's gonna get any better. So y'all gonna have to come up with something or I will. Right. And so new coffee, you know how that goes. Anyway, so this goes back and forth. So what should have only taken 20 minutes ended up taking over 3 hours. And Hunter was visibly upset. If I had pearls, they'd be clutched right now. Can't have Hunter upset. I digress, it gets better. So then
the House Minority Whip from Massachusetts. I can't remember her name. She's blonde. She comes on and she starts talking about these dumb Republicans and about how they've got fake charges. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They had fake charges that they have had to work for years to make up. And this is the best that they got because it's all fraudulent and everybody knows it. But don't you worry because the Democrats, they're not focused on fake charges and trying to just hem up the legal process so we can't get things done in our country. Don't you worry about that. Oh, somebody testify. Let me tell you what they're going to do. They're going to keep on fighting for the American people because they care about people. And like the Republicans, oh, it gets good. It gets good. I was going to play it for y'all. When we go commercial break, I'll see if I can find it because y'all, I'm not making this up. And then she goes, and then not only do we care about people and what's important to you, like renewable energy, green energy, we care about making sure that your grocery and your gas bills are lower. Hold on, I'm gonna need you to stop in times for just a second. Hold on just a second, because y'all know that Trump's a four-letter word in my mouth. But under Trump, we were paying less than $2 for gas. I mean, immediately when Biden comes into office, there was a place yesterday I almost had to pay $4.50 for gas, y'all. Now my car is premium, but it was like 4 to 39, I think is what it was. I almost had a heart attack, and I was like, so I pull out my phone, and this is in New Braunfels for Bucky's. This is a Bucky. Pull out my phone, and I'm like, there's a Sam's Club. I think I can make it. On fumes, honey child, let me tell you, but I made it. And the difference in the gas was it was 429 at the up there at Bucky's area because all the gas is the same price. Don't let anybody lie to you and tell you otherwise. Now usually Bucky's is cheaper, but not this time. So anyway, and I could earn points at Exxon. Um, Back on point. 429 in New Braunfels. I get down to just a little bit closer to Live Oak City. There's a Sam's Club there, and it was 329. 349. 349 is what I paid for premium. And for regular it was 299. Now, I don't know what it is. I don't know what deals that Walmart made, and I know we typically like get all crazy about crap, but Walmart slash Murphy USA slash Sam's Club, they have been consistently the cheapest gas in the state of Texas. And y'all know me, I travel the state of Texas probably more than anybody else in this daggum state. They have consistently been the cheapest gas. And I'm like, well, how come they can have the gas almost $1 less than everybody else? Because so they were 299 for. I'll go to the unleaded numbers. So they were 299. Everywhere else before I got there was 350 or more. At some places it was 360 and 380 between Austin and New Braunfels. I was finding it for 360 and 380 in places. Y'all better shut up. You tell me where them damn Democrats is working for you because they ain't working for crap. They are lining their pockets. Ugh, trust me. I don't feel very fancy with my premium gas. We need to start a car fund for Sandra, by the way, because we got over 200,000 miles on that. So, and it's premium. So, good Lord have mercy. We need a car fund for Sandra. So $5 a day, please. But I mean, when you start looking at this, when you start looking at they literally believe their own crap. They literally think that if they say it enough times that they're working for the people that will believe their crap. But you cannot look at what we were paying for just gasoline. For gasoline 2 years ago. 3 years ago now. Under a Republican president. And now we have a Democrat president and we have inflation through the roof. I do, in fact, need a car that runs on hot air. Do you know how much money I would save that time? Yes, I mean, clearly, Simon, that's a fact. That is a fact. Well, actually, I guess it's not really a fact. My wallet might actually be too big for all of the not $100 bills that I have. But for $5 a day, you can help. But you got to count it all joy, guys. You got to count it all joy. So, but these people now, these are the same people that have done nothing except for go after Trump for the last since, well, what, 2016? They've made a career out of going after Trump since 2016. 9 years they've been going after this guy. It runs, and there's no major mechanical problems. So I'm blessed, and that's all I could say. There's no major mechanical problems. It does suck that it's got that many miles on it and it has premium gas, but I thank Jesus every day that my car is not broken down, that I've never been stranded on the side of the road. And now I did, y'all will laugh because you know me well enough. After all these years, you will laugh at this. When I was said last week, I literally cried while I was stuck in traffic because I was in the middle of nowhere, and I had no phone signal, and I was waiting in traffic. And I ended up being almost an hour later to where I needed to be because of traffic, in literally the middle of nowhere with no signal for hours at a time. And so I finally started crying because I was like, great, I'm not even going to get to be a part of the meeting that I was going to. Walter's gonna think I'm dead on the side of the road. They'll never find my body. Like it was dramatic. It was in fact dramatic. I know, Simon. You're a martyr for the cause. Happen to listen to me, but I'm defending your Trump. I'm defending your Trump. He was my Trump in 2020 and in 2016. He's not my Trump right now in terms of wanting him for president, but I will defend him because this is some crap what they're doing to him. And just the fact that these people have the absolute audacity to sit there and say that they are working for you. I think I saw a meme and it was like this Build Back Better program must also be waiting for funding or something like that. It was funny and it made sense. Let's go ahead and take a commercial break. I want to heat this coffee up so that maybe that'll help kind of some of this just a little bit. Might have to pick up some throat coat today. We'll have to see. But we're going to take a commercial break. I'm going to see if I can pull this woman up so y'all can hear how ridiculous she sounded. And we'll be right back. So call your friends, call your frenemies, and tell them to get their little buns on here so they can watch some Texas Fully Loaded with us. We'll be right back, y'all. We are back with a huge thank you to our amazing sponsors, the Montgomery County Tea Party. Don't forget the first and the third Monday of every month. Be at Citizen Grill in Conroe, Texas. Meeting starts at 6:30, so get there early so you can get something yummy to eat. Hug some necks. Come up with some deceitful plans to break up those mean old Democrats. Uh, 'cause that's what we do. We're mean. We're mean to them Democrats. Bless their hearts. Hunter's just a good guy. I don't know why we're hemming him up. And of course, the Vietnam Veterans of America, their service and sacrifice went far beyond the distant shore. They still continue to serve for their communities and their veterans, both current and past veterans. So when you see a Vietnam veteran of America, always tell them welcome home. And if you can, go to vba.org, see where one of your a local chapter is to you, and get plugged in. See if maybe you can bring them a plate of cookies or maybe something to eat. Maybe they got a raffle going on. Buy a raffle ticket or an event. Make sure that you get involved. They need you. They need you. We need them. It's this big, beautiful love fest. Free love, bro. Just kidding. And so don't forget that the Baytown chapter is going to be hosting an event in October, and I believe it is their and I was just talking to Justin last night too. Dadgummit. I believe it's their the state's convention. So we'll have more information on that. You guys, I need you there. I just need you there. Okay, and then have you been to Texas Fully Loaded website yet? Have you? Tell me the truth. If you haven't, you need to go. Stop what you're doing right now. Well, maybe not right this second, but stop what you're doing. Go to texasfullyloaded.com and see all of the fun that we have on there. We do have, and I need to go back and add a couple more things because I haven't had a chance to do it. But we have this beautiful website. Look at this. Isn't this glorious? And right here, this is the We the People button that we talk about all the time. Click on that. We the People work. It'll allow you to contribute to our show directly because we need your help. We need your support. And you can go to the TFL shop and click on it right here. This one's honestly my favorite page is the sponsors and friends page because it has all the information for all the important things that you need to know, like Mammoth Nation. I don't know why I've been forgetting about them. Quit the big box shopping. Go to mammothnation.com/# We the People work. Because when you sign up through that link, you support Texas Fully Loaded and you get access to amazing products and businesses and exclusive discounts, all made possible from your friends here at Texas Fully Loaded. But you can also click on the Texas Fully Loaded shop. I'm going to share this instead. You can get one of these lovely coffee mugs, just like this one right here. I was using this one when I was at my dad's. Of course, our t-shirts. I can honestly say this shirt is amazing, and I can't wait to get that one. So while I can't wait to get it, y'all don't wait to get it either. Go ahead and order today. Don't delay. Order today. Go to texasfullyloaded.com. Thank you guys so much. And of course, TECN.tv. We couldn't do this without you. Make sure that you like, follow, and share. And you comment. You help break up the algorithms on things and let your friends know that you're part of the show because we're not possible without you. So thank you guys for being here every day. Okay. So I apologize. I misspoke about this MSNBC thing that I was watching this morning. Y'all know I always make it right when I was wrong, and so here we are. So it was 7 days ago, so it was a week ago. But I just saw it because I don't always look things up, believe it or not, because I usually get pretty good run on things. Hold on, what was that? I wasn't going to. I wasn't going to do this, but MSNBC. But y'all need to hear this insanity. You need to hear. It is a few minutes long, but it's worth it. So we need people to see this. We need to see this because this is what we're fighting with. Okay, this is what we're fighting against. Like these, and we don't have the resources that these freaks do. Okay, hold on.
To be a fugitive from American justice, an arms trafficker indicted on 8 federal criminal felony counts and an unregistered foreign agent for China who tried to trade Chinese arms for Iranian oil. So I guess he's not going to be a witness for the majority anytime soon. Well, after the failed SARS reports, bank records, Form 1023, we can conclude that this Inspector Clouseau-style quest for something that doesn't exist has turned our committee into a theater of the absurd.
Ranking member. Oversight Committee, Maryland Democrat Jamie Raskin blasting his Republican colleagues over their failed efforts to paint President Joe
better.
Biden as the mastermind behind a
He should be
family
censured, by
crime
the way,
ring.
Maryland.
That hearing featured a pair of IRS investigators, Gary Shapley and Joseph Ziegler, who testified the DOJ essentially slow-walked its investigation into Hunter Biden and ignored recommendations to file felony tax charges, instead striking a plea deal that allows the president's son to avoid prison time.
So the slow walking by the Trump
the
Justice
Trump folks.
Department as well. Yeah.
Right. So that, along with everything else we've been talking about this morning, should tell you everything you need to know. The pair allege that Trump appointed U.S. Attorney David Weiss, the prosecutor leading the Hunter Biden probe, was prevented from bringing charges in jurisdictions outside Delaware. But Weiss has told Congress he was granted, quote, ultimate authority over where, when, and whether to file charges in the case. Ziegler said he was the lead IRS case agent on the investigation and that the IRS had recommended both felony and misdemeanor charges against Hunter Biden. But Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy of Illinois got Ziegler to admit that the federal officials he was dealing with and with whom he had concerns were actually members of the Trump administration before Biden ever took office.
You say, quote, I started this investigation in November 2018 after reviewing bank deposits. Then you later say career IRS staff were not initially supportive of starting the investigation. Of course, in November 2018, Joe Biden was not the president, correct?
Joe Biden was not the president, correct.
And then at page 20, you lay out another concern. You had a concern about Bill Barr, Attorney General Bill Barr, consolidating these series of cases into the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware. At that point, you said, quote, what was the potential issue I saw with working the case in Delaware? We were working with a small U.S. Attorney's Office who might not have ever worked a case of this caliber. Now, of course, Bill Barr was appointed by Donald Trump, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Now, let me turn to another concern that you lay out in your testimony. You were concerned about the quality of the prosecutors. On page 14, you say, quote, the prosecutors were the JV squad, and they weren't up to the task of handling such a big case. Now, sir, U.S. Attorney Weiss was also appointed by Donald Trump, right?
So as far as the actual nomination and what went into why.
I'm not asking you why. I'm just saying USA Weiss was appointed by Donald Trump, correct?
That is correct.
So you have lies, exaggerations, arms dealers, Chinese agents, people that smuggle Iranian oil to the Chinese Communist Party, and now Trump IRS agents, Trump attorney generals, Trump prosecutors, all appointed by Donald Trump. And these complaints starting in 2018 when Donald Trump would be president for 2 more years, over 2 years. Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna of California also got Shapley to admit that tax counsel decides not to charge the vast majority of cases like Hunter Biden's. In fact, it's a small minority of people who got targeted like Hunter Biden did. Shapley also admitted under Congressman Khanna's questioning that he never said, despite Republican lies, he never said that Merrick Garland lied to Congress, that right-wing talking point was, in fact, a lie. Let's bring in right now the number 2 Democrat in the House.
Here we are.
Whip,
this is the
Catherine
best.
Clark of Massachusetts. Congresswoman, it's just, again, I mean, we started with Durham. He was going to prove that Hillary Clinton tapped Donald Trump's phones and the FBI was in on it. He ended up being made a fool of himself. 24 jurors in 2 separate trials dismissed charges. I found that those that he charged not guilty. It was a complete bust. Then we have House Republicans bringing in arms dealers, Chinese agents, people that illegally smuggle Iranian oil. Now we have these so-called whistleblowers who are saying, yeah, we're really angry. It's really terrible what Trump's IRS people did and Trump's attorney general did and Trump's prosecutor did. I mean, it's just a clown show with these House Republicans, isn't it?
Absolutely. Listen, the circus has come to town with the House GOP. And what's dangerous about this is that the American people and their needs are not part of their agenda. And they want to focus on this political theater. They are so wrapped up in their own, salaciousness that they have totally lost the thread that what they're here to do is find solutions for the American people. And they don't want to talk about that with the Biden administration and Democrats in Congress, we have been able to grow the economy by growing the middle class. We've been able to reduce healthcare costs. Just look at 1 year ago, we capped insulin at $35 a month. There wasn't a single Republican vote because their focus is on this chaos. And it is not what the American people need. But we're going to keep doing our jobs. We're going to keep focusing on the solutions that matter, whether that's reducing the cost of healthcare, groceries, gasoline, or whether that is making sure that we are addressing climate change, as most of this country is suffering from an incredible heat wave, and making sure that we have the energy and the renewable energy to meet those demands. Gun violence. They don't want to talk about it, but they put a bill on the floor this week that was completely manufactured crisis about migrants in schools. Let's talk about how we keep families safe at home. Let's put the focus back on the American family and stop this theater.
Y'all, did I make up anything that I said that woman told you? I didn't even give you the half of it. This fake crisis of migrants flooding our schools. You show up at a school here in Texas and let's have that conversation, especially one in South Texas. I had a theory in 2021 when they were 2020, 2021 school year. So the theory is that they were trying to force masks onto children, and they allowed there to be no uniforms. Now, this was huge. It wasn't just no uniforms for high school. It was no uniforms for elementary school, also for the 2021, 2022, or 2020, 2021 school year. Now, why is this significant? Why did this matter? So living in Laredo, running for office in Laredo, my phone was blowing up from teachers because I was fighting for the students. I was fighting for the teachers, not just in Webb County, but all over, because we were seeing this ridiculous nonsense where Ken Paxton, and y'all know how I feel about him, but he did the right thing here. He came back and he said, it is against, if we find out that you're forcing students to wear masks, we're going to come after you. It's against the law. You can't do this. The governor put out an order saying you cannot force students to wear masks on school property, on school property. You cannot do this. It wasn't just school property. It was anything owned by the state. But you can't do this. And one of the things that we saw is my phone was literally getting blown up, and my team's phone was getting blown up. Make sure Sandra knows. I'm a counselor at one of our schools at LBJ or at Nixon or fill in the blank, even United. And I was registering students, and before lunch, I personally would register 15 students, 20 students, 11 students, 16 students, fill in the blank, that were not U.S. citizens, that were here illegally, that were part of this migrant crisis. So when they were trying to force masks on our students and they removed the barrier and the red tape of uniforms, which I hate anyway, but even down to elementary school, They were trying to make it more accessible and less obvious that they were smuggling children into this country. And a lot of the students were not assigned to a parent. When these teachers were, or when these counselors were telling me about this. For this Democrat dingbat to have the audacity, maybe in Massachusetts they don't have this problem. So again, every state is not a border state. Every county is not a border county. Because when you're not dealing with this stuff, you can't sit here and tell me it affects you. And apparently in Ivory Towers in Massachusetts, they're not dealing with this. Oh, you know, when they did get illegals sent to them, they just got rid of them as quickly as they could. In fairness, that was Martha's Vineyard, but it's all up there and they're like that big. When you can fit all of New England into East Texas, I feel like they all merge together. So Simon, this one was another one of my favorite ones. The only thing that they could fall back on is insulin. We got insulin to $35. And here's the best part about that is that ball was already rolling under Trump. That's why they were able to roll it out so quickly. Do you know how much it hurts my soul to make me have to say these things out loud? Mr. Whammy for the win. You're welcome, Simon. You knew it wouldn't be a complete Thursday if I didn't say it. But that's the whole thing. Like the only positive thing that they can take credit for, they didn't even initiate. It's hysterical. And the worst part is you still have jackasses just believing this fake outrage and fake shock. Oh my gosh. Like, I could not believe. Did you see the smugness on their faces and listen to it in their voices? This is on MSNBC. This isn't on some webcast like Texas Fully Loaded where I'm known to be a smartass. This is what they're pushing. We want to know why we're losing. It's not just Republicans that are losing. America is losing. And we're too busy trying to pick the best turd in the punch bowl. The best turd in the best turd in the toilet. That's all we're trying to pick out. Instead of actually going for people who give a damn about this country, who give a damn about their states. Instead, we're going to keep playing this ridiculous political theater and game. This morning, or last night, I guess yesterday, Mitch McConnell had a Biden moment. He's in the middle of a press conference and then he just freezes. They said it was 20 seconds long. I watched it. It was awful. I said, great. Tell me again why term limits don't matter. Tell me again why age limits don't matter. People who are in their 80s should not be fully running the country. They are more susceptible to strokes. They are more susceptible to falling and not being able to get back up. And that's not being funny. That is being serious. I have personally cared for the elderly. One minute they're fine, and the next minute they need to take a nap. One minute they know exactly what the hell they're talking about, and the next minute they go, whatever. Don't get me wrong. I have plenty of those moments also. It's painful to watch. I can't stand all of these people should be aged out of Congress. So Border Patrol, the federal law enforcement agencies, all of these, the military, they all have a cap of age on when you have to retire. Why? Because your reflexes aren't as quick. You can't do the same thing that these young cats can do. Yes, you might still be physically fit, and yes, you might still be of sound mind, but you're still a little bit slower. You're still not as quick as you once were. Those are just the facts of life. That's not being a jerk. That's not being mean to a Republican. That's not being mean to a Democrat. That's not being a senior basher. It's our responsibility to look after them. Watch the freaking news channel, any news channel, and there'll be tons of ads. Are you in the unique position? Are you in the position where you went from being cared for to now being the caregiver? Have you noticed that your mom or your dad has started messing up their words, or they've got in the car and they've started driving and now they don't know where they're at? Have you had this problem happen? Have you had that problem happen? It is our responsibility to care for them. They took care of us. Feinstein should not be there anymore. Fetterman should not be there. His is not an age problem. His is literally a health problem. Mitch McConnell should not be there. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they are all too old to actually run their offices. But because we believe in this bullshit patriarchal nonsense, we're going to keep them there because, oh, well, they've been there for so long. And you know what? We owe it to them. We don't owe them crap. We don't owe them crap. I thought we didn't believe in kingdoms and kings and queens in this country. I thought that we believed in an election for a purpose. But apparently, we don't. It just sounds good. It helps us to get reelected one more time. These people have no intentions on doing the right thing for the country. They have this abusive sense of power that we have neglectfully allowed them to keep. Because it's all about how much money you raise. It's all about what you do. It's all about what favors you can do for this person or that person. It's all about showing that you're the biggest butthole on the planet. Not even a badass, you're just a butthole. They don't treat people the way that they ought to be treated. If we truly cared about people, if we truly cared about our country, if we truly cared about the rule of law, if we truly cared about what our founding fathers fought for, we would not be okay with politicians being in office for 60 years, 50 years, 40 years, 30 years. This is not supposed to be some retirement plan by any stretch of the imagination. This is supposed to be a service to your country, a service to your district, a service to your people. And then go on. Go do something else. That's why the founding fathers set up the election cycles the way that they did. They didn't want any one person to be there too long. They wanted you to come, do your business in Washington, D.C., and leave. Not realize that you love seafood from the Atlantic Ocean and the Chesapeake Bay better than anywhere else on the planet, and that's true because it's the best. Might be a little prejudice. When is enough going to be enough? When are we? You know what? We made fun of Biden when Biden got into office. That's what I'm screaming. We made fun. We all had our laughs about how old he was and depends in the White House and this, that, and the third. But we also had the serious conversations about how this was elderly abuse. This is elderly abuse on more levels than a little. Where are their families stepping in saying, Mom or Dad, I need you to sit. I need you to sit this one out. I care more about you at this point. We've let you do this for 60 years. We've let you do this for 30 years. Can you maybe just come and enjoy your grandkids? Like, why aren't they having those real conversations? And it sucks. Nobody wants to have these conversations with their parents or their grandparents. But these are real conversations that have to be had. They have to happen in every single household at some point, with luck, unless you unfortunately lost somebody too soon. But instead, we're too busy caring about false senses of power. Why? You guys know I made a joke a couple weeks ago. I take nasal spray every day, and I made the joke. Was asked if I was using liquid cocaine, and I said, "Hey, if it's good enough for the White House, it's good enough for this house." Uh, but the real thing is that if it's good enough for this house, then it should be good enough for that house, our house, the people's house. Whether it's in Washington, D.C., or whether it's in your state capital. Because you don't have to look far to see where the oldest member of your house is in any state. Jack, Jack, if you can remember, we had somebody here in the state of Texas. They're well into their 80s or possibly even encroaching on 90. They were still a representative, a House rep. That's disgusting. Because gosh darn it, we have to cry sometimes, Simon. But we have to get serious. We have to be real. And the thing is that if we can't have these conversations, and if we can't embed this into our minds so that we can take it to somebody else, then this same crap is going to keep happening. Look, I don't like Mitch McConnell. I never have. I think he's always been a turtle man. I think he's never been straight with us ever. I think he's been just as crooked as the rest of those jackasses up there. However, there comes to a point, even with Biden, where you just look at him and you're like, I did see your Facebook. I'm sorry, Simon, and I love you. There comes a point where enough has to be enough. And somebody has to step in. We sit here, we talk about protecting children. We talk about CPS. CPS is not, it doesn't, there's CPS and there's also adult protective care. It falls under the CPS branch also, but it's one and the same, but one is for children and one is for adults. Because adults get abused too, especially when they start becoming incapacitated. And I think truly the worst thing that we can do for them is make them believe that everything is fine. Make them believe that they should still be doing the exact same thing. There is no secret, and anybody who takes care of an older person, their job is to make sure that things remain as normal for them as long as possible. I totally understand that, because we all know it's just like my granddad used to say, Sandy, if you went out and picked up a calf every single day from the second that it was born until it goes out to slaughter, but you can't miss one day. You cannot miss one day. But if you go out and you pick that calf up every single day from the day that it was born until it goes out to slaughter, you will pick up a full-size cow. But if you miss one day, you won't be able to pick the cow back up. And I thought, there might be some logic there. It's like your kids, right? When your kids start getting bigger, I tease with Arthur. I'm like, oh my gosh, you should be picking me up soon. I quit picking up my big boys, right? Naturally, because that'd be weird if I was still carrying Alexander around on my back, especially since he's a foot taller than me. Ha! Not quite a foot tall. We have to let them know they stop picking up the cow. That doesn't mean you can't still go out and feed it. That doesn't do other things for it, but you shouldn't be mucking the stalls anymore either. Nobody likes that moment. But if we truly care about these people, we need to. And we're the people that truly care about these people. It's uncomfortable. Nobody likes confrontation. It's not like something I can't wait to go and confront them with this. Like nobody, like if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? If it was easy, we wouldn't be having this conversation. If it was easy, we wouldn't have people in their mid to late 80s in Washington, D.C. still. They can still go to the dinner parties. They can still walk in, say hi to their friends, mentor the young ones. But at this point, we're just letting them go to their office every day and then stand in front of a camera and look like weak old people. And you have to stop and say, is that really what they would want? Because I don't know Joe Biden from Adam, right? I've seen him on TV. I think he's a jackass, but that's it. That's all I got. But I can almost promise you that if Joe Biden from, I'll even say 20 years ago, looked at a video of himself today, he would probably hurt for himself. There's pictures all the time on Facebook and social media of these older people with their walkers or whatever, and they look into the mirror and they still see themselves as young nurses or military members or football or dancers or fill in the blank. Because in their minds, they're still that person. In my mind, I can still get in my ballet shoes too. I mean, technically, they still fit my foot, right? But I promise you, if I tried to get it back up on point, I'd probably roll my ankle and break it. Maybe just the ankle I'd break. I mean, that's just where are we as a country, as a society, that we're okay with watching them continue to fail as individuals? Like there's no people empowerment in this. And the fact that they let him come back out and make another statement. And the best part was is it wasn't even a good statement. It was just like, yeah, I'm here. I'm still alive. Like that was kind of like the whole thing. We have to do better being people to other people, even if we don't like them. Like it's just that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. And we do need to come up with policy because apparently nobody wants to do the right thing unless they're being forced to do the right thing. Maybe we do need to come up with an age limit because term limit seems to be an invisible concept. And I've been saying this, do you believe in having a mental facility check for anybody over the age of blah, blah, blah in Washington, D.C.? Yeah, you probably should start it when they're 30. I'm gonna be for real with you. Like I'll be 40 in April. Y'all should probably have my head checked every once in a while. If you watch this show regularly, you already know this. And I'm being funny. But I mean that's true. We force law enforcement to do it. They have to go and see a counselor or get, kind of get like a rundown check every year. I did. I'm not afraid of my real age. I am proud of my age. When I turned 25, I didn't want anybody to ask if I was sad. I was excited because I was halfway to 50 and I was a quarter of the way to 100. I think because I lost my grandparents, my mom's parents at such young ages. I have no problem with age. I'm excited about age. I think it's important that if you get to celebrate as many birthdays as you can, that you should be happy with every single year. So, yep, I'm 39 now. The gray hair part, that's the part that I get a little antsy about. And good moisturizer. You have to have good moisturizer. Let's have a commercial break, y'all. Simon, go get a Kleenex. We'll be right back, you guys. We are back with a huge thank you to our amazing sponsors. Don't forget the Montgomery County Tea Party. They're meeting on Monday, the 7th. So pay attention to that part. At Citizens Grill in I had my Biden moment as I just didn't even talk about old people. I guess this makes me old people now. At Citizens Grill in Conroe, Texas. The meeting does start at 6:30. Get there early so that you can hug some necks and get something yummy to eat. Also, don't forget about our Vietnam Veterans of America. Their service and sacrifice went far beyond a distant shore. They still continue to serve their communities and their fellow veterans, both past and present, and their families. So make sure you check them out. Go to vva.org. See if you can find a local branch. Get involved. Get plugged in with them because you're not gonna regret it. They're hysterically funny and they have big hearts and they have some of the greatest stories ever. So make sure you tell a Vietnam veteran of America, welcome home. Also, don't if you're sick and tired of the big box shopping, go to mammothnation.com/# we the people work. Sign up under that link. You get exclusive discounts. You get an exclusive membership price, because who takes care of you? You know I do, buddy. So make sure that you click on that. You get a discount to sign up. Then you get more discounts on the inside, and they're all American and veteran-owned businesses. I can't make this stuff up, guys. This is real talk for real talk for real people. And of course, go to the Texas Fully Loaded shop. Go to texasfullyloaded.com. Click on # we the people work and support us directly. But also, if you click on the TFL shop, then you have you can get our awesome paraphernalia. Look at this. This too could be yours, or the disappearing one. Whoop whoop. The one that matches that. Wait, I always do this wrong. That logo right there. I loved it. It was super cute. I meant to steal it from my dad's house and I forgot to. Some t-shirts, so all sorts of fun stuff. So make sure you check out texasfullyloaded.com. We're trying to keep it more updated more frequently. Okay. Now, as much as I love talking about all the old people in Washington, D.C., we do have other news to talk about as well. So apparently, if you remember correctly, one of the reasons that I could not stand, well, there's many. One of the reasons that I didn't like Kevin McCarthy was when he was running for Speaker of the House, was because he was very, very in your face with, we are not going to waste our time on impeaching Joe Biden because that's just political theater and we're not like the Democrats. What did I say? What did I say when he said that crap? I told him then clearly he's not paying attention to what's going on in the world around him. He's fine with making sure that they get to, same second verse, same as the first. It's fine. Keep moving forward, all that kind of jazz. We're all in this political orgy bed together, right? That's the Kevin McCarthy dream. So he said that we weren't going to impeach Joe Biden. Well, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, he came back and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna impeach Joe Biden." He was so excited because, gosh darn it, we're gonna go after him. I apologize. Monday night is when he said it, that he was going to go ahead and get some impeachment processes started. Well, the Senate came back and they were like, "Yeah, I don't think we are. I don't think we are." None of these people, this goes back to the same conversation we were just having, but now it just adds to more of the corruption and insanity. These people don't give a crap about you. They don't give a crap about me, and it doesn't matter what side of the aisle they sit on. They're too busy living in their little fancy schmancy glass houses made of bulletproof glass so that they can continue to exuberate their false sense of power, raise money, and say, "Look, I'm the biggest butthole here." That's it. That's all they're doing. It is literally all they're doing. They come up with this crap, and there has been some things y'all know I zero chances of becoming a Kevin McCarthy fan ever, for just so we're clear on this. But he has done some good stuff. And you guys know that I will give credit where credit's due. What the heck fires are you doing?
I had to jump in. I was tired of seeing you by yourself this entire time.
I thought you were going to come and chastise me for your beloved Trump.
Well, no, you were talking about Kevin McCarthy, so I came here and I wanted to join in. He is a joke. I still think, if I would have had it my way, Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz, oh my God, are you okay?
I had a fly landed on my arm and it scared the hell out of me. It was huge. Sorry.
Okay. Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz would still be holding up the vote if I had it my way. We'd still be waiting right now.
Oh, absolutely. You remember we were dug in. We were all committed here on DFL. We played it all day, every day. For all of them 15 votes, and it was glorious every single time. And we were hoping that this was going to go into like several month-long overtimes, and it didn't happen. Because at the end of the day, we still have a theater. We still have a show that we have to put on. So why would we actually want to fix anything? Like, let's not get crazy, Simon.
Well, that's true. I agree. I mean, if you fix things, then they won't be useful anymore.
I was trying to read what you had at the bottom. It says Simon J.A. from J.A. Small Town. I was like, what's J.A.? And then I was like,
Did you
just
figure it out yet?
It was like from a Jason Aldean Small Town.
Yeah, I'm from a small town. That's where I come from.
You really do. And oh, by the way, I saw your sheriff and I saw one of your former deputies this last weekend. Big hugs.
Oh,
Lots of fun
really?
time. Yeah, they were at the sheriff's conference. In fact,
Oh,
sure.
okay. That part of that program you were telling me about, the Lone Star.
No,
Was
this
it
was
Lone
just
Star
the
Sheriff?
Texas Sheriff Association. Bam.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there he is.
I know he's very love him or hate him up there.
Pretty much. I mean, I think everybody out here is like that,
And then
except
we
for
had
our mayor. The mayor out here been doing amazing things.
oh yes, he is amazing. And then we had Martin was there.
Oh,
You can see.
yeah.
So yeah, we had a really good time. It was a great time. It was fun reconnecting and catching up, seeing how things are doing. Anyway, so but Atascosa is an amazing town. My sister used to live in Lytle, you know that, or Poteet. She lived in Poteet, and she's like, you know what?
Yeah.
She goes, I love being up here in Fort Worth. She's like, but man, I really did enjoy living out in the country. It was just a different way of life down
Yeah.
there, and it's
And
definitely everybody knows everybody.
And it's Atascosa County, not Atascosa
Mhm.
Town. So that's something different.
Wait, what?
Atascosa County.
Yeah.
You said Atascosa Town.
Did I say town? Oh,
Yeah, you did.
I need more coffee.
That's okay.
See,
That's okay.
this is why older people should not be involved.
So I have to ask again, how many counties are in Texas?
You know what? That's not nice. It was one time in my political career. I didn't get it right.
Well, you know what? Those things, they stick. I'll tell you. One time I told my friends I didn't like a movie, and they never let me forget it. That was 15 years ago. I told them I didn't like that movie, and I watched it again with them, and it was good, but they have not let it go. Every day, every time I ask about a movie, so we're not going to listen to you. You didn't like this movie. That's what friends are for. And remind
What
you
movie
when you
was
make
it?
a mistake for 10 years. Step Brothers.
You didn't like that.
I didn't like it the first time I saw it. I had to watch it again.
Walter's never seen Step Brothers. There was another one that he refuses to. Oh, you know which one he refuses to watch? It's one of my
Is it the
favorite
Barbie
movies.
movie? Because I actually stand with him on that.
I haven't. That battle's not over yet. No, it was Happy Time Murder Club, or Happy Time Murders.
Happy Time Murders. I don't think I've heard of that. I might have, but okay. No, I've never seen that. There's a lot of movies I haven't seen. They're on my list, but I don't even know what this is. What is this? Adult puppet crimes? Okay, that sounds interesting.
It is hysterical. It is so inappropriate, and I laugh until I cry every single. Like, I never pay for movies. Like, I don't pay for movies on. Like, I just watch whatever's free, right? I purchased that movie. It's in my iTunes, and that is legitimately one of my favorite movies of all time. And
I'm
y'all are
looking
gonna
it up
watch it,
right.
and then you're gonna be like, you're gonna think so less of me.
Yeah, I'm not a
I don't
fan of
even know if
Melissa
I can play
McCarthy,
this.
but
Oh, I might be able to play that trailer. Miss Bat, never mind. Miss Batty's back. The principal's here. I'm not playing that trailer.
yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea.
It's not a kid friendly movie. It's not a kid friendly
I would,
movie. Don't let the puppets fool you. But I love the Muppets. Like, they are my absolute favorite. And so this is not the Muppets, but it's puppets, and it
It's based off of. It looks like it has a little. Oh my God, what are the Muppets creators' name? I can't remember. I guess I'm getting old too.
Oz.
Jim Henson.
Henson. Yeah, Oz was
Yeah, has
the
a
one who
Jim
does the
Henson
voices for
look
Jim
to it.
Henson. Yeah. I think they were
Yeah.
consultants, or a lot of the people came over not formally under the Henson brand to do this movie. I mean,
Mhm.
it's you're gonna watch that movie and then you're gonna call me, you're gonna be like, I don't think I can ever look at you the same way.
I can't even. No, I have a few movies that I like that I probably shouldn't because I'm a Christian man, so I'm not gonna say that on there and kind of bury myself though. I'd rather give you credit for
He's like,
actually
I'm not gonna
admitting
be as
this.
bad as Sandra and actually tell you what it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you what they are.
You know what? People, if they don't know that I'm a little off in the head by this point and don't blush easy, I don't think there's a chance.
Oh, I know it. I know it.
Miss Patty wants to know what's baking.
What's baking? Well, I'm at my office today. I'm not at the bakery today.
He has Walter all over his wall. It's kind of weird.
What?
Because you have Flash on your wall. I think you even have the Dark Flash on there, don't you?
Yeah, it is right there. Yeah, that's the guy. No, I got him on there pretty good, so I'm not gonna take him down.
Just kidding. You just have to trust us. It's there.
I got my wall here. I got my wall. See that? And look right here in the middle.
Who is that? She was awfully skinny back then.
And then a few other
Simon.
places. Oh my God, don't look at that.
We have to have a serious conversation. Look at you. We have to have a serious conversation. So this morning, I was proud of myself. I went for a walk this morning. Like I haven't.
Oh good, I'm proud of you too.
I did like over a mile and a half. Like I'm proud of myself, right? And you guys know.
Well, you know, I'm always supportive.
I have my little raccoon babies that have been visiting me here. And when I pulled up last night, I saw one by the road. This morning, a block over.
Oh my God.
On my walk. I'm like, look at this. This is why I can't go on walks. There's murder in the streets.
Oh, Sandra, was he wearing a mask?
I was like, this right here is a complete cause and case for me to never go for a walk again, because I go for a walk and my friends get murdered in the road.
Oh, Sandra.
And I find
can't let one instance. You are there to protect it. Hold on, look. Hold
on. I can't let one instance.
No, you'll hear me and people think you're joking, but I am actually reading.
Good for you.
Right? And it actually says in here that if you see something like that, do not pick it up and eat it.
Okay.
It actually says that.
It does. It does. Which makes you laugh because you got all these rednecks that have like these roadkill cafes and stuff like that, and it's because they used to. Yeah. Here's a fun fact.
Yeah,
so did you know? So we've talked about this on the show. It's against the law for you to own a raccoon in the state of Texas. Many states have this ridiculous law.
Well, they're all ridiculous laws.
They are. The fact that we even have to say these out
and
loud
walking is not overrated.
It's painful. Walking is not overrated. I don't know. I'm starting to think so. But I need to lose 20 pounds, so it may not be completely overrated. Okay, back to the raccoon. So it's against the law to have a raccoon in the state of Texas. But do you know what it's not against the law to have? A koala. It's not against the law to have a river otter, or there's like 5 things that it's against the law to have, and raccoons are one of them.
I mean, what is the justification?
Because you can get rabies from a cat and from a dog. Like
In other words, just on the news this morning about people getting sick from cats.
Manny actually, when we first got married, we had a kitten. Well, it was my Muffin. Y'all have heard me talk about Muffin on the show before. And she scratched. They were playing, right, and she scratched him. It wasn't that big of a deal. He ended up getting cat
Mhm.
scratch fever and was in the hospital for almost a week. It's not just a Ted Nugent song. It's a real thing.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I mean, I'm looking up weird laws right now. Where's Marianne? Because I see one in Arizona. It is illegal for your donkey to sleep in your bathtub. I mean, does that matter that it's 118 degrees outside in Arizona? Marianne, if you're here, please let us know if you tried
Oh
to get
God,
your
I
donkey
almost
in the
died.
bathtub.
So it's not that it's illegal for your donkey to be inside. It just can't be in the
It's,
bathtub.
it can't be in the bathtub. It is illegal for him to be in the bathtub.
Now we know.
And sleeping.
Now we know.
So if you keep him in there and keep him awake, that's a different story.
That's fair. No,
Or you can take
no.
Sandra and have him talk to the have her talk to the donkey about primaries. That'll keep him
It
awake
will.
for a few hours.
And it will motivate him.
Yes.
Motivate him.
It'll somehow, I don't know how this happens, it'll turn from a donkey to a rhino to an elephant. That's the progression.
I almost wore my progressive shirt today too. That's funny. That's funny.
That's progression right there.
It is definitely progression. Yeah. No, there's really weird laws. Like I think if people actually went back, this is why I say it all the time. Like we don't need to make new laws. We need to clean up and enforce the laws that we already have. And so when you start looking backwards at some of these ridiculous laws, you're just like, wait, that's a thing? Like, why is that a law?
There's a lot. Yes, there's a lot, especially here in Texas. I mean, well, it's illegal to drive with one hand. It's illegal to drive without shoes. They're actually
Some
on the
states
book.
it's actually illegal to drive in flip-flops.
I lived in Texas too. Nobody does
And I
that.
was like, I remember hearing that and I was like, that's stupid. But then I was like, I guess it kind of makes sense because when sometimes your flip flop can kind of do that little thing on your
The suction thing if it gets wet.
Yeah. But yeah,
Very, very
there's
dangerous.
some weird laws out there. In the animal one, so technically it states that they can't be a fur-bearing animal. So you can't that's and a raccoon's considered a fur-bearing animal. And I was like, well, so are rabbits. So I mean, like you could go down a whole list of animals that are fur-bearing. So I don't understand this ridiculous law and why people are. I think they're raccoon haters.
Possibly.
Have you seen that one animal? Yeah, I see him on like the channels all the time, like the Facebook and all the like the little videos or whatever. And he looks like a guinea pig, like a little guinea pig, but he's like this big. I can't remember what it's called. It starts like a C, a cabera, something like that.
I know what you're saying.
Anyway,
I don't know how to pronounce that name.
you can legally own one of those in the state of Texas. It's actually on a list of things that you can own.
But what are the animals you can't own? I'm gonna look that up right now. Animals you cannot have as pets in Texas. Oh, there's a few of them. Oh, you can have. Why is it saying can? I don't. You can own a kangaroo.
I told you. Read what you can have. It's ridiculous.
Okay. It says you can't own a lion, a tiger, an ocelot, a cougar, a leopard, a cheetah. You told me you could own cats. This is saying you can't. A jaguar, a bobcat, a lynx. Those are all cats.
They are, but they're not. But I think they're considered fur-bearing ones, especially the bobcat and the lynx.
Okay. Snakes are not allowed to keep endangered species.
Raccoons are
Are
not
raccoons
endangered
endangered?
species.
Are you
Well, I
sure?
mean, my little raccoon baby that's in the middle of the road is.
Oh, see,
I'm not
they
gonna
are
let him.
endangered by
What are?
police.
Shut up. Well, okay. So this was totally coincidental. So as soon as I see the raccoon and I take the sad picture, I hear ambulances in the background.
Coming to get them.
Oh, Miss Patty.
Oh, that would be awesome.
But yeah, you
Have
can
you
own
ever watched
koalas, kangaroos, just the most random things. And so now I'm like, you know what? I want to get a kangaroo. You can actually even own a penguin.
Really?
Yeah, we looked into it once.
Do you let them live in the freezer or?
So there are tropical penguins, but you should keep your house in a cooler temperature. I think it was there's like a legitimate website, and there's a whole thing where you can own a penguin, and they're nesting animals, so it's best if you give them a closet, and so that they can make that their place. But just like raccoons, you know how raccoons are gatherers, the penguins will take
Yeah.
things around your house and will go put it in their nest area, especially things that smell like you, or just like if it's glittery or shiny or whatever, they'll take it to their nest. When years ago, Manny loves penguins, so I guess it was like 10 or
Oh, I
15
saw
years ago.
penguins there. Awesome.
10 or 15 years ago, I looked it up, and you know, you can legitimately, they're like $3,000 or $4,000.
How much?
Like $3,000 or $4,000,
Per penguin?
I guess. Let's see, what if you got a pair of penguins and then you could just keep making penguins? I mean, is there like a penguin breeding situation here? Like, I feel like we could get
Yeah,
into
get
a
a male
market
and a
here on
female,
Texas Fully
and
Loaded.
yeah, get a male and a
I
female,
got
and just
that fly.
talk.
He was coming at me. But
You
he's
caught
dead
a fly with
now.
your bare hand.
I did. I do it all the time. I'm like a fly ninja. I'm a Venus
Oh wow.
fly trap. I can even catch them in midair. Welcome to Sandra's
You know
Hidden
what?
This is the hidden talent
Sandra's hidden
portion of
talent:
Texas
catching
Fully
a
Loaded.
fly with her bare hands. That is a skill. I'll give you credit for that.
Thank you.
What does that say?
Suzanne said the Hilton Hawaiian had penguins for years. They no longer have them. I went to visit twice a week for 15 years.
Well, I love penguins. I'm gonna go see a couple penguins.
Yeah. Mhm.
I just like the general idea of this. It's the romantic it be, but I like the little pebble thing about them. Okay, I think that's pretty cool.
They're cute. Yep. So you can own a penguin. The more you know. Here at Texas Fully Loaded, we believe in making sure that you know what animals that you can own, and the weirder the better. I always get weirded out by those videos of people that own pythons and stuff that let their children play with them. And what I don't know why they refuse to realize that they act like they love you because they and constantly are rubbing on you because they're trying to size you up to eat you.
Yes, but they're not poisonous. So.
Yeah, I mean, they can crush you to death, but that's fine. I mean, it happens.
Well, it depends how big it is. It depends how big it is. I mean, I've held a python before. My friend used to own one, and I would mess with it. And I know it was trying to kill me because it would always squeeze my neck. But but there's a story. I was working at a gas station one time, and I had to shut down the pumps because there was a rattlesnake back there. Actually went in there right by the gas pump. That thing was the biggest damn thing I ever seen. I said, I don't know what to do. A customer actually went and killed it.
So when we first bought the house that we have there in Laredo, right after closing, we go over, we have the keys, we're all excited. We go inside and there's a snake in the garage. And Manny's like, nope, he's like, let's go back. We're canceling the sale of this house. It's not happening. Fast forward, the kids and I are in Virginia, and somehow a snake got in the house. Then he lost the snake. The animals couldn't find the snake, and we don't know whatever happened with that snake. Then a couple months later, we had a rat. We used to get baby rattlers in the front yard often because we used to live at a berm. And so there was one time we had gone outside and we caught it in the bucket because the kids found it first. We caught it in a bucket and he's hyperventilating. I'm trying to be calm, cool, and collected, but like we literally have a rattlesnake trapped underneath of a bucket, and so then we had to like get the shovel and kill it, and the whole it was intense. It was intense. But we had a dog named Spider-Man. Now Spider-Man,
Oh,
he
that's
was
cool.
he was crazy. Spider-Man got bit by a rattlesnake one time, and it was in an off season. It was like at the end of February, first part of March. So it was when the babies were out, and he was running through the field that used to be behind our house in a rental house that we had, and he got bit like right on his rib cage. And so we didn't know what it was because it wasn't typically like when when rattlesnakes were out yet. And so I called the vet. And she said, well, it could be several things. Is he okay? Is he still, has he breathing? And when did it happen? And I said, well, we were gone all day. He was in the backyard, blah, blah. But it looks like a golf ball size blood pocket. And she's like, well, it could have been a tarantula. Those are really bad this time of year. And, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, wow, okay. Bring him in first thing in the morning. So we got there first thing in the morning. I did. And as soon as she walked in, she goes, Mom, that was a rattlesnake bite. And so like the anti-venom was going to cost over $500. And we were just like, we're just going to have to see how this plays out. Because that was crazy. Anyway, so apparently.
Yes.
So then, Spider-Man survived. He had this big, huge hole in the side of his stomach or in his rib cage because it was right next to all of his vital organs. So it was like super serious. They kept him for a day. And then they sent him home. I had to do all the wound care treatment and everything. And it was deep. Like it was like that deep.
I believe that.
And about that big around. It was huge.
Really hard.
Well, then he got bit 2 more times in his lifetime. And when like the cicadas and the locusts and stuff would start making their little rattly sounds, like he would just go insane because he would start. He like became an enemy of them. But now the funny part was.
PTSD.
Yeah, he did. And so we had a golden retriever also. In fairness, Austin named him Spider-Man. He was like 3 or 4 when he named him Batman. Oh, Batman. Which was funny because he didn't even like Marvel comic books. He likes DC comic books, which made it even funnier. But that was Batman. And Spider-Man looked like a little mini golden retriever. He always looked like a puppy. Like his entire life, he looked like he was a puppy. And we had a full-size golden retriever. Our golden retriever was like 150 pounds. Anyway, when he got bit, Jack spoiled him rotten. I mean, he wanted for nothing. Jack would bring him over food. Like he would physically, even though we were bringing him food, like if he was hungry, because they were really well-behaved dogs, so we could keep food out for him all day long. Jack would go over and he'd get a mouthful of food and bring it to him and put it down in front of him and like bring toys to him and kind of just like totally took care of him. And to the point, like he turned into a spoiled brat. It was ridiculous.
They will do that.
He did. And so, and Jack knew he did it. Jack knew he did it. He let him get, even after he was healed, he let him get away with, that puppy got away with murder. It was hysterical.
Well, it's weird how dogs interact with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually have feelings. It's crazy.
They do. That's why I can't get on with the theory that they don't have little souls.
Yeah. I mean, I had 2 dogs long time ago when I was like a teenager. 2 dogs, we had them chained up at our house, and one of them died. So I went to go bury him, and the other one started howling as I was going out there. I was like, oh my God. Like a sad howl. I was like, oh, this is so hard to do. It was crazy. I was shocked that they actually acted like that.
Miss Patty said, what about a dog named Hot Dog?
It'd have to be a wiener dog.
Well, some friends of Mike has a basset hound, and Charlotte calls him Hot Dog.
Oh,
she goes, where's that hot dog?
I've always wanted to get I think the cool dog is a little dog, a corgi.
Oh my gosh, I love them. They're little heart butts.
And they're gonna laugh because I've said this for a while. I want to name him Dr. Robert Oppenheimer.
What?
Yeah, Yeah, I've always said I wanted to have a little corgi and name him Dr. Robert Oppenheimer.
Why? We
I don't know. I just thought it was cool. And go to like the vet. I need you to see my dog, Dr. Robert Oppenheimer.
Well, you know what? When we had Spider-Man and like when they did his neutering the first time when they neutered him, and then when he got bit by the spider, bit by the snake, and the funniest thing ever was you had a medication bottle with the name Spider-Man on it.
That is funny. I can imagine having one Dr. Robert Oppenheimer on it.
I like it. I like it. That's funny. That is funny. We originally Jack's name was was Captain Knuckles, but people just called him Knuckles, and it's not the same.
Oh, yeah.
Do
Think
you
about what
remember
else.
Captain Knuckles?
That sounds familiar.
It was from the Misadventures of Flapjack.
That sounds vaguely familiar, but I might be getting that confused with like Hanna-Barbera characters. Captain Caveman. Okay, I'm looking up now. It is also a no-go in Texas to own a mongoose.
You know, and I was just looking at mongooses the other day.
Well, I think
I will
mean, that's
also
weird
take
because
that
everybody
as
knows. Go ahead.
no, I was going to say I'm also going to take that as to be a mongoose bike now, and therefore no bikes. No mongoose bikes.
Oh, that sucks. I mean, mongooses are enemies to snakes, so.
It's true.
I mean, you know that they can actually get bit and survive, no problem. Okay, what am I watching?
You don't remember this?
I recognize the style. I know that's the 90s.
That's Captain Knuckle.
Come on, Knuckles! Shut your blowhole, boy! Come on, Knuckles, they're amazing!
Oh my goodness. The stuff we grew up with.
That I love that show, and the other one that was one of my absolute favorites was oh gosh, Mungdal.
Which one?
Hold on. It was a little kid, and he was learning to be a chef. And the chef, he was a sous chef, and his chef's name was Mungdal. It was kind of like an India thing. You take the moon and you take the sun. You take everything that seems like fun.
And were these things on? Wait, that was on the Cartoon Network, right?
It was on Cartoon Network, yeah.
I didn't have cable
Oh my
or
gosh.
DirecTV when I was growing up.
We used to watch it all the time.
Look, I was not joking. I grew up poor. Okay, I actually didn't have all those things.
We only got to watch it at my grandparents.
We only
didn't have
had
cable
what was-
either.
Only had what was free.
We only got to watch it at my grandparents. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I remember having a TV that didn't have a remote. What?
Yeah, at my house we didn't have anything fun, but at my grandparents' house we had cable, and we even had a remote, and it was so exciting. I'm gonna go crazy now.
Hmm.
They were chefs.
I don't remember what else I had. What happened?
Chowder.
I heard you say Chris Christie. You say Chris Christie?
No, Chowder.
Chowder.
That was the name.
When
of the
I
show,
was a kid,
Chowder.
I watched Garfield and Friends and Bobby's World.
You still love Bobby's World.
I love Bobby's World. He was like the coolest kid ever, and he could make anything happen on his little tricycle.
Most of these stinky cheese logs need to be rolled at precisely 135 miles per hour.
We We used to pretend that Jack would talk like the little rock monster guy.
My Gurgan. Hey, is that log done yet? It's
Anyway, the other guy, the little gray guy that was running on the cheese log with Cheddar, he was like a rock something, and so go like rattle, 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 rattle. And so our golden retriever used to talk back to us all the time like that. He'd be like, rah, 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 rah. And so we used to laugh that Jack was talking like anyway.
Oh my gosh.
If y'all only knew what was going through my head 85% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I look back. I was watching old episodes of the Power Rangers. I said, "Wow, the show is so cheesy." I can't believe how cheesy it is.
Yeah. No, I never
But
liked
yes.
it because I thought it was super cheesy. I was one of the rare exceptions, and I never got into Pokemon either.
You don't like Pokemon? I liked it when there was 101 of them because you could actually count. Then there was 10 million.
When Alex was little, he wanted to get into Pokemon, and I was so anti it. And then finally, he goes, "But Mom, this is from when you were a kid, so you have to remember it." And I was like, "I was not like other kids." And he's like,
"Well, you remember it. That doesn't mean you were a fan."
Yeah. But I couldn't tell you anything about it. You remember when everybody got that stupid game on it? What was it? That Go Pokemon Goes, and people were trying to catch the Pokemons all over the freaking world
On their cell phone?
Yeah. It was like
yes, I remember
6 or
that.
7 years ago.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like trespassing and people like breaking into yards and stuff trying to find them.
It was. I didn't get it. People were crazy about it.
I didn't get it either. Like at some point, I actually stopped taking in the new things. I mean, I was actually just talking to my mom and sister last night about Windows 3.1.
Simon's like, and I still have it because I refuse to update my system. I'm comfortable.
Exactly. Windows 95, that's some devil stuff. But they were talking about how the most incredible inventions came out around those times. The the mouse, the computer mouse, because they didn't always have one. The screensaver. I was like, wow, this is cool. I used to watch the one with the fish at school, this fish screensaver. Just sit there for hours waiting for the puffer fish to come out.
That's right. Wait for it. Wait. I gotta wait.
Yeah. And then if you clicked on him, he'd pop up.
It's funny because like you get like these are so nostalgic. It's so 90s, and people don't get it. People really don't. They're now like kids are like, why would you do that? But I remember. I still remember playing with a lot of stuff from the 80s though, because I mean I was born in the early 80s, but I can appreciate both decades.
Well, of course. The 80s had better rock music.
Finger traps and Rubik's cubes, and I remember taking strings and playing like the little string games with your fingers and stuff with my mom.
Look, I grew up poor in a rural town. Okay, so the 80s didn't come out here until 1993. So I know what you're talking about.
Because Patty, actually, 90% of the time he looks at me like I've lost my mind. Like he'll say, "What are you even talking about?" And then I'll try and show him, and he's like, "Stop! I don't have time for your voodoo. This is dumb." I'm like, "This isn't dumb. This is who I am. You can't appreciate my weirdness."
I'm looking at Suzanne. I was not a fan of TV except for Flicka, Fury, and Lassie. Lassie. Oh my goodness.
I can't whistle.
Nope. Won't watch Lassie. That's too sad. And what's the other one where the red fern grows? That was sad too.
There's a lot of sad shows. I did like. I used to love and I know they were reruns for us, but like because it was always stuff that Granddad would always watch with us. Is like Leave It to Beaver and the Andy Griffith Show and like all of those. Like we watch Lassie sometimes, but not very often. Because if it was sad, Granddad didn't want to watch it, and because he wouldn't want to make us kids cry. That's what he used to say. And if it was scary, so we were never allowed to watch a lot of stuff that Granddaddy if Granddad thought it was scary, we weren't allowed to watch that. I remember going, but Granddad, it's rated PG, and he goes, well, I don't care, I don't like it. And he'd go over and turn it off.
Yeah, he made the rules.
He did
But
make the rules.
one thing I
He
can say,
fought the man though.
my favorite show, favorite all-time show has to be Married with Children.
My mom hated that show. It was banned from our house. We would have to sneak to watch
I
it.
love that show. I love that show. I mean, if I look back and I've actually watched it recently. I said, Al Bundy, no matter what, he always protected his family. He was a real man, and he was a man's man.
He was.
And he may have he had a lot of problems, but he protected his family. He protected his house when he needed, and for what was it at the time, $4.15 an hour?
Yeah, no kidding.
Maybe $3.25.
Just kidding. We know what you ate for breakfast. Nothing. I had nothing for breakfast. I've had a cup of weirdo coffee. I'm getting ravenous.
Look, it's in the Bible. She cannot take that raccoon home and eat it, so she knows she did not have it for breakfast.
I'm a raccoon. I'm gonna be sad if I don't hear little tonight.
Aw. Well, I'm sure it was another raccoon. Probably just a friend of your little friend.
I'm not gonna cry. We're out of time. It's time for us to say good day. Simon, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you coming on and having fun with us this afternoon.
Hey, last thing. Tell your friend Vivek to stop emailing me.
What's funny is I don't get anything from Vivek. That's hysterical. But also, I never sign up for anybody either, and I still get crap. So here we are. Y'all, don't forget to join us tomorrow. Tomorrow is our January 6th day, Federal Defense Friday. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again, Simon. We love you guys. Bye, y'all.
Thank you. Bye.